28 Years Later is certainly a movie that feels like it's set 28 years after the events of 28 Weeks Later, in that absolutely none of the elements from the first two movies in this trilogy, is it a trilogy? I don't know, but none of the elements from the first two movies feature in this movie. Alright, so the probable rage virus Cillian Murphy from 28 Days Later does pop up for a quick chat, which is pretty fun, but that's more of an homage than any kind of real continuity, in my opinion. I'm not exactly complaining here, but I suppose the world did need some new ideas injected in the formula to attract a new audience, but some of the stuff introduced kind of seems a bit out of place, but we'll get to that later. 28 Years Later is a movie that focuses on a community of survivors who live on an island connected to the mainland only by a narrow causeway that is flooded most of the day as the tide comes in and out. They've walled the town, and inside, it seems life is pretty peaceful, if limited. There are signs that supplies do run out sometimes, and the young boys are being raised to become defenders of the community, standing against the horrors of the immediate outside world. But other than that, people seem pretty peaceful, they seem to get along, and it seems like a nice, idyllic island in a world that has gone crazy. On the topic of things that I did enjoy about 28 Years Later, I found the acting overall to be excellent. With this cast, that's hardly surprising. Jodie Comer continues to kill it in every role I've ever seen her do, and her work as Ilsa, the brain-cancered mom here, is excellent from start to end. She's at times going absolutely insane, and other times she's lucid and caring for her son. Played by the also talented Alfie Williams. He was 13 while playing the role of Spike, a 12-year-old boy born into the world of a quarantined and extremely dangerous Great Britain, and his ability to show complex emotions without the assistance of explanatory dialogue is honestly elite. I expect big things from him in the future. Aaron Taylor Johnson's work as Jamie, Spike's father, and Ilsa's husband is equally nuanced and, in my opinion, difficult to portray. You can tell he's working hard to be a good dad to Spike, while also reacting to his marriage falling apart as his wife succumbs to a mystery illness no one he knows has the ability to diagnose or treat. It's a horribly difficult position, but he does his best to put on a brave face and be a supportive father to his son. Their adventure on the mainland is definitely my favorite part of the film, as he's calm and focused during Spike's first time facing the rage virus monsters, but also comforting and uplifting as Spike's fear gets the better of him more than once, as is to be expected with anyone's first time venturing into the, again, very dangerous world he was born into. Jamie's mature and understanding reaction to Spike's struggle allows Spike to do what he needs to do later in the film, where he sets off with his mother to find a doctor. The second half of the film focuses on the aforementioned journey to find a doctor. After Jamie probably mistakenly tells Spike there's a doctor living on the mainland by himself, Spike becomes immediately obsessed with the idea of taking Ilsa to him and finding out what's wrong with her. Even after Jamie tells Spike the story of how said doctor was burning stacks of corpses the last time he encountered him, and how this Dr. Kelson is likely bonkers, Spike is insistent that this is a path he must follow, and he sneaks himself and Ilsa off the island what seems like the very next morning. This kid is a go-getter. What can I tell you? After a brief encounter with a couple zombies, and also Eric, a Swedish soldier who was on quarantine patrol and accidentally crash-landed on the mainland, Spike and Ilsa make it to Dr. Kelson, who has built a massive pile of skulls, an incredibly foreboding sight, but not one that prevents Spike from doing what he came here to do. Dr. Kelson seems quite sane on closer inspection, and while he may be a bit too focused on the idea that everyone must die one day, or as he likes to say, Memento Mori, he seems to be in full control of his faculties and skills as a doctor, as he was trained as from the before times. He unfortunately, and maybe a little expectedly, diagnoses Ilsa with brain cancer, which is advanced and spreading through her body at a rapid clip. While this may be a convenient example of Memento Mori, it is nevertheless emotionally affecting to watch Spike have to process his mother's imminent death, and then her immediately imminent death, and place her skull in a very special place of his choosing, on the skull pile that we've already discussed. In the end, the movie validates Spike's choice to take his mother to Dr. Kelson, in that they both got answers, and she got a painless death instead of one that was likely to be torturous and last months, if not years, before she finally passed on. Spike's coming-of-age tale is beyond even that which we got in his first adventure with Jamie, and he comes out of this movie a much more wizened and strong person than he was at the start. The end of the movie seems to come out of nowhere a bit, as Spike decides to leave his home community and make a go of it on the mainland by himself. An honestly foolish decision, and one that contradicts all the wisdom he seems to have received over the course of the film to this point. He's seemingly immediately set upon by a bunch of fast rage virus folk who chase him down and corner him at the base of a cliff. Coming to his rescue is Sir Jimmy Crystal, a grown-up version of the boy we see at the start of the movie, and someone I didn't even mention until now because the movie is not about him at all. He's in the very opening scene. He watches his priest father get turned by the rage virus on what feels like 25 hours later, and then we forget about him as the story of Spike takes our attention. And then Jimmy pops up again at the end to save Spike with his cohort of very weird tracksuit-wearing, parkour-performing, melee combat specializing friends. Wikipedia says Jimmy's character is supposed to mirror Jimmy Savile, a famous British pop culture icon who was found to be a giant nonce and child predator, and everyone's trying to forget about him these days. So why he's being referenced here in any way, I honestly don't know. And why his buddies attack rage virus monsters with hand-to-hand combat and golf clubs instead of keeping their distance is a big mystery to me. 28 weeks later showed us that bludgeoning the rage virus monsters to death runs the very real risk of catching the virus yourself, as all it takes is a bit of their blood getting inside your body to turn you. Smart people use bows or guns or sling rocks to fight them. Getting up close and personal as a matter of choice seems like a really weird idea. Anyway, it turns out, after doing some reading, and after I walked out of the movie theater moderately confused, Jimmy's going to star in another later movie coming this January called 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. It's crazy that this film franchise, known for taking years or decades between films, is releasing a new one just a few months after 28 years came out. Regardless, I'll be going to see it. 28 Years Later came through for me with a snappy plot, intriguing world build, and great performances. It's earned my $10 this January, for sure.